if you're joining us, because especially now, considering I can't see you, I really need, yeah, no, and I love seeing you, of course, but I would love, love, love to see, meet you guys. So if you're joining right now, please go ahead in the chat and tell me what you teach, what you're maybe, tell me a little bit about you. Like, feel free to share, what do you teach? Have you used the education exchange before? Were you in my last session? All those things are really helpful for me to learn about you. So was in your first
Tanya, we had some switch their afternoon session just to hear you again this afternoon. You were good this morning.
Oh, thank you so much. I was so nervous to present. And I present often, and I still get so nervous. I care, I want to make sure that you guys get good stuff. I would hate for you to feel like you're coming to something and it doesn't feel valuable. So as you're introducing yourself and telling me a little bit about you, I'm going to kind of walk through what we're going to be going over today in our session. And I want to make sure you're in the right place, because again, the last thing I would ever want from you to do is come to a session and not feel like you're getting anything out of it. So I want to make sure that you're in the right place so that it's early on. So I'm going to share with you what our objectives are for today, so that if it isn't the right fit, you can pop yourself into another session that might be better suited for what your goals are. And I don't take that personal one bit. So I'm going to just share my screen right now. And I just heard about, okay, cool. I'm still reading the comments. I have them open in my other screen, so this is great. And here we go. I'm going to, there we go, share my screen.
That Adobe Exchange is awesome. Y'all are going to love all the stuff she's going to show you that's free and available.
It's pretty mind-blowing what is available on the Education Exchange, especially when you learn how to use it. I think that is the thing. It's like, it's one of those things that's like super duper overwhelming when you first get started. But when you learn how to use it, you're like, oh, this is actually going to save me so much time and energy. And it's actually really good. I'm actually going to keep it open this way because I'm going to be flipping a ton off of presentation mode. And I find it kind of distracting personally, like when I'm doing that and I have to like go on and off. So I'm going to keep it like this, and I'm going to be presenting this way. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so honored that so many of you have come back. That makes my heart really happy. I'm curious if any of you were at Rebecca's session this morning. Rebecca is one of my very closest friends in the whole wide world. And I know she presented at the same time as me this morning, and she's a great presenter. So congratulations if you were there and you're going to be finishing your ACE level 1. I'm super excited if you were, yeah, she was really great. I'm really excited if you are joining me today for the first time. Welcome. If this is your first introduction to any of my sessions, let me share with you a little bit about me. So my name is Tanya Averith, and I work at Adobe as their education evangelist. And I always like have to apologize for my name in advance, because I don't know, if someone came to speak to me and was like an evangelist, I'd be like, who does this person think they are? I really did not choose this name. It came with the role, but really I like to see myself as an advocate for educators and students alike. And really it's not about me. In my role, I really, really believe that my job at Adobe is to help empower students, and through professional growth, through professional development, working with districts. Anyone who works with me at the districts knows I am a huge advocate for students and for creativity and education. And so that's a big part of my mission and what I try to do. And then internally at Adobe, I see my role very distinctly as the teacher voice at the company. And so I work with a team. There's a couple of teachers that work on our team, and we were massively dedicated on like a large scale of internally making sure that the company understands the needs and the realities of classrooms so that we can improve our products and optimize them for teachers and for students alike. So it's something that I'm really passionate about, and I'm constantly keeps me up at night trying to fight things. It's no difference in working at a district when you work at a company. I've worked at districts, it's the same levels of bureaucracy to do what's best for kids, and I'm on a mission to do that. I'm also the co-author of the Google Infused Classroom and Microsoft Infused Classroom. I co-authored this book with my dear friend, Holly Clark. We actually wrote it in 2017, which is wild. And we actually just this week launched our second edition. We haven't really spoken about it, but it should be out in this week or next week. So we're really excited about that. And I'm also part of many awesome communities. So some of the communities that I've had the honor of being part of are the Google Innovators. I became a Google Innovator. Back in the day, I went to the Google Teacher Academy in 2012. I'm an Apple Distinguished Educator. I actually became an ADE in Austin, in Texas in 2013. So those communities are really about community, like the people in them. And so I'm so honored to have met such amazing educators along the way, and to call these people my colleagues and friends, and to be able to learn with them. And so a lot of those experiences have kind of led me to where I am today in this journey. And I'm hoping that I can share some insight, and also, of course, for this particular session, share resources with you and save you time. I know that at this point in your school year, you must be drained, like drained. And I'm hoping this is the kind of session that I like coming to, because I'm not just like tooting my own horn, but because it's really a session where you can kick back, watch, relax, and then explore, because that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to walk you through this education exchange, which is kind of a monster if you don't know how to navigate it. And I'm going to teach you how to search what is available. And then what we're going to do is I have 5 challenges that we're gonna do, but they're like fun. I'm gonna give you tasks like you're on a scavenger hunt, and you're gonna go and you're gonna explore. And at the end, what I've done, actually I'll pull it in really quickly. What I've done at the end, which is gonna be really fun, is I've created this Padlet collection, and I made it a bit more dynamic so that we can curate resources that we find together. And so I can also update this on the fly if there's sections that I'm missing. But by the end of the session, we're going to walk away with time to explore, which is something we often don't get to do. And we want to do it, but we're like so busy. So you're given this frame of time right now to have guided exploration, and then time to share and collaborate with people who you might actually teach with, or who might work at different schools and who are finding resources, so that you can start to build out a bit of a collection of some really fun ideas that you can get started with the school year next year. So it's I love this kind of activity. So this is a fun like 2 hours where we're going to explore and learn about some new resources, but you don't have to think much. You really just get to kind of kick it and find stuff with me. All right. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing in this session. And it'll look a little bit like this. Kind of, oh, that's actually the wrong breakout. Never mind. Skip that slide. So, oops, I forgot to update that one. All right. So, very, very quickly, why education exchange? And I'm going to open it in just a second so you'll see what I'm talking about. Well, first of all, the edX provides rich information. Nope, never mind. That was the one I did before. Wow, I'm like having one of those days. Okay. Well, I can explain. The education exchange is this really massive, there's about 800,000 educators that are actually part of the education exchange. It's a global, like kind of massive community of sharing. And so there's a lot of people on the education exchange who are able to pull and create resources and share. And then there's a lot of people that are on the education exchange who are there to pull collections and gain access to really great resources from some of the best educators out there. Now, I'm going to share with you today a bunch, the understanding of how to search through a lot of it, because it's a bit much if you don't know how to navigate it, because it's a product of its own success, right? There's a lot of people, there's a lot of resources. And so when you learn how to search on there, it makes finding it a lot easier, and then it'll save you time down the line. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to press play. I want to show you something that we created for our back to school resources to give you some insight in terms of what we had done this year for distance learning.
At Adobe, we know the best teaching resources are made by teachers for teachers. That's why our latest back to school lessons, projects, and activities are made by educators like you. This year, with exciting new partnerships, we've created a series of Khan and Create activities that extend Khan Academy lessons across subjects. They include creative activities and storytelling lesson plans with Pixar in a Box. We also partnered with Better Lesson to create over 300 new teaching resources with expert teachers from across the globe who've crafted new materials based on their best ideas, strategies, and pedagogy. Whether you're looking for standards-aligned lessons or activities aligned to Stanford's Civic Online Reasoning curriculum, Adobe's latest teaching resources, self-paced courses, and professional learning kits are here to help. And as always, they are 100% free for all educators everywhere. Check out the Adobe Education Exchange and join the growing community of almost 1 million educators with Adobe.
Awesome. Sorry, my dog has decided that he wants to join the party right now. Shh. It's okay. Shh, shh, shh. So the Education Exchange essentially is broken up into 3 categories, and that's how I'm going to break it up for you today. The first is it has a series of online self-paced courses, and we're going to go through that in just a second. The second is it has a lot of lessons and projects that are available. Some are created by community, but there are a lot that have been updated, and that's what I just showed you that video over the last year that were created by contractors through Adobe to design these really incredibly well pulled together lessons and projects. And I'll talk a little bit about those in the, like, where they come from and how they were developed, because it's very interesting kind of what we're trying to do there. And then finally, I'm going to share our distance learning page. And that page has some really interesting curations that go beyond curriculum, well, like subject specific curriculum. So there's amazing social justice resources and social emotional like learning resources, and it also connects to collections of webinars that you know, are available as well. So I'm going to walk through these different kind of sections with you and kind of show you how they all work. I saw some really great questions. One of the questions that I saw in here was if I was going to be sharing my slides. I will actually be sharing all of my resources. I explained in the last session, what I do is I share them after the time that we're done, because I also check for questions. I ask, you know, if you guys have any requests. I also use the time with you to see if there's any needs. And then what I try to do is curate, based on the feedback that I'm receiving throughout the session, a series of resources to send out after. So you will receive them. I will make sure of that, but they will come after the session. And that way I'm not just like dropping links that could get easily lost in the chat. So the first thing that I'm going to walk through is actually going to get you on to the Education Exchange. And I'm actually going to ask my team here from Klein, Karen, I think Karen, you're on, right? Karen, how do the teachers here at Klein access their Education Exchange accounts? So is I just want to make sure I'm directing them in the right way to log on, because every district seems to be a little different. So I'm going to just
Well, we have the Adobe Spark and that in the dashboard, and that's where they would usually go. Although the problem today is that we switched over to a new dashboard. So it may not be showing for everyone, but I think if they would log in, what they normally do is they log in with to Adobe Spark, and then they click. Let me see if I can get the exact instructions here. Hold on, I'm gonna log out because I was already logged in.
Because if you go to edx.adobe.com, you can also log in straight from there.
Right, they can log in there.
Yeah,
so they're gonna, yeah. So go ahead and do that one.
Here, I'm gonna go in incognito just to kind
Yeah,
of.
they're gonna sign in with Google.
Okay,
is what they're going to do. When they click and open it, they'll click log in with Google, and then they will hit enterprise ID is what it is next. And
okay,
their enterprise.
so they'll be going to continue with Google.
Yep.
Okay.
They'll do that. And then if they hit enterprise ID, I think if they're already signed into the client dashboard at some point that day.
Okay. It'll
single
kind of
sign on and it'll take them on through.
Otherwise, you're going to put enterprise ID.
Yeah, and it's just their email address and however they sign on to the computer would be that.
Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to double check on that because I want to make sure that everybody knows how to log on so that you can, you're going to need to for our session so that you're able to log on yourself. So I did that in incognito just so that I could show you, but make sure that you're able to log in. For some reason, the chat has like disappeared for me. So
no.
Yeah, it'll come back. I'll have to, when everyone's looking, I'll get it back up. So Karen, feel free to let me know if there's any questions.
Okay.
And you're Karen, right? I'm not saying.
Yes, I'm
okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. Okay, so let me know because just for now, I don't see the chat popping up. So this is the education exchange, and this is what I'm focused on, and this is where the resources are for today. Actually, here we go. More. It's so weird. Sometimes the chat just disappears. I got it back. So you're going to go in here, and what you're going to do is look at it through three kind of buckets. The first bucket are these teaching resources by grade level and subject areas. The second bucket are the free self-paced courses. And then the third bucket that I'm going to be focusing on are the distance learning resources. Now, the free self-paced courses are actually really, really good. And I'm going to explain to you how we've kind of structured these courses. So let me open it through this lens. Okay. So about a year and a half ago, Adobe hired Brian Johnsrud. Brian Johnsrud actually worked at Khan Academy for 6 years before coming to Adobe. And he was hired at Khan to develop the content strategy for Khan Academy. So what's really neat is he helped grow Khan Academy to what it is today. And it became this kind of really well-oiled machine. And so he joined our team because we have this education exchange which has a lot of potential, but not much strategy, right? And in the last year and a half, what he's been doing is really developing out meaningful content and strategy around our content so that we can really offer meaningful creative experiences for students and ultimately for teachers to be able to facilitate. And that's really his mission here at Adobe. And so just in the last year, he's added, I think, like 15 new courses. And when you go into the courses, these are all the ones that we have right now, and they're really good. They've been vetted. They're created by our team at Adobe. And there's a whole variety of courses that you can take. Now, when you take a course, you also get, you will also receive professional development credit that comes from Acclaim and Credly. So Karen, are they, I don't know, in Texas, every state is different, but are you able to use those for professional development credit at your district? Like if you take a course through here?
They can if they submit the, they have to just upload the certificate into Eduphoria.
Cool.
If they do it outside of the district, yes.
Yeah. So there you go. So like if there's something that's interesting to you, these are free professional development experiences that you could take on your own. And then you do receive, when you're completed, a completion certificate that you can use towards professional development hours at the district. So that's really great. So just to kind of show you high level what's available on here. So there's about, I think 26 and counting, or 27 and counting on a free self-paced courses, and they're really, really good. Okay, so for example, one of the latest ones we just put together, which I mean, we do have this strong connection, and it'll make a little more sense now that you know that Brian used to work at Khan Academy. We have this crazy partnership with them that's really started to evolve over the last year. And, you know, he's basically been taking contents that we already are known, like that Khan is known for. And now we're adding elements of creativity, because very often Khan's content has always been very like, watch this video and take a quiz, you know, and that killed Brian, by the way, Karen. Like, he told me, like, you know, he wanted it to be so much more. So it's really like going further with content that is available, so that there's a mixture between what you're doing with that content as well. And so there's that relationship that they've started to build out really cool lessons and projects that you can do with our partnership there. So there's this course that kind of helps walk teachers through that. There's preparing students with essential creative skills, 3D skills in the classroom, Spark in the classroom. Guys, this Spark in the classroom course is fantastic. So if you are not familiar with Adobe Spark, or you would like to learn how you might integrate Spark into the curriculum, this is such a great course. So what these courses do, a lot of them, what they do is they take, and here I'll kind of walk you through like what this could look like. So the course opens up, and, you know, you kind of read through it. It has the objectives. Then you go, you know, next. Okay, so when you're done, you go and move to the next one. And then there's videos that are connected to the courses. So there's a lesson 2 overview.
In lesson 2 of the Spark in the Classroom course, you'll explore how Adobe Spark Post can be used to easily create beautiful.
So there's a little introduction to what you're going to learn about. And then what's nice is, in this case, it's going through Spark Post. So it's talking about ways that you could use it. So tutorial, creating key quotation flashcards. So it's giving you an idea of what you can do in the classroom. It's showing you how to do it. And then it leaves you with a lesson plan that you could use that is on the education exchange. So it's very directed, and it also leaves you with really practical things that you can use in your classroom tomorrow. And it goes through the lesson plan, and then you move on. So then there's the same one for video. Not the same one, but like, you know, similar, where it walks you through an idea, a project, something you can create, and then a lesson that you can use. And the same with page. And then it has more lesson plans, and it's connected to different subject areas. So it's a really great introduction to the tool, and also the lessons and projects that you can use with your students in the classroom. So it's so practical, because you're walking away with really tangible ideas, and also how to use the tool. So that's just one of the courses, and I just think it's fantastic. I actually got to be a reviewer on the course, so I was like super impressed with it. And I have to say, it's one of my favorite ones. Let me go back. So that's just one. And then we have ones here like engaging video projects in the classroom. So if you wanted to do more video, it walks you through the same idea. It'll have lesson ideas, and it'll take you to lesson plans, and it'll connect and make those connections with you. And then we also have these professional learning kits, and I'm going to walk you through those afterwards. But we have also professional learning kits. So if you're a trainer and you wanted to do professional development with teachers at your school, this will walk you through how to use the professional learning kits. And there's ones for acrobats, and then, you know, ones that just focus on cultivating digital literacy. Now, this morning, some of you did ACE Level 1 with Rebecca Hare live. We usually don't do live courses at all. We don't do live sessions, because we have the course to do ACE Level 1 on our Education Exchange. And it's a 1-hour course that you can do on your own. We do them only for special districts. And I'm not just saying that to Klein, like we really only do it for special districts. Like Klein happens to be a partner district with Adobe. So we'll do a lot more for some of our districts that we are partnered with, but I couldn't possibly do all of them, and neither could Rebecca. That's not realistic. So if you didn't come to that session, I've actually completed it, so I can't show you but the curriculum's actually great. It's a very interesting course. If you took it this morning, Rebecca actually was the designer of the course. Believe it or not, she wrote the course, and so you got it from the source. And so it's a really great course, and you could take that and get your level 1 badge. And then if you wanted to do and go further, you could get your level 2 badge over here as well. So those are available. And then we have some really interesting ones. This is one that I absolutely love. This is the basic principles of design. And these courses are incredible. So they go through things like emphasis and contrasts, visual balance, proportion, rule of thirds. So these are things that are very foundational to like improving your skills as a visual designer that aren't just for CTE and arts teachers. Like I think that kids need to learn how to create graphics. It's a literacy, it's a fluency, right? Like to understand how to create. But here's what's better about all this. And this is why I like to have these tabs open. And this is what I wanted to show you. So I just showed you some of these courses that are all in the edX, but watch this. So our YouTube channel is insane. So what people don't realize, and again, remember we hired Brian Johnsrud. Where did all of Khan's content live? On YouTube. So when Brian joined our team, he was like, this is crazy because all of our content only lived in edX. And he said, that is ridiculous. And it is ridiculous because you need to bring people to your content. And if you know anything about search engine optimization and how to kind of build awareness and how Google in general works, like you need to have things linked in many different places to bring traffic back. So that's one way. And also just making it available to you, making it available, more accessible through the YouTube is really powerful. So get this, every single video and every single course in all of the Education Exchange is actually curated on our YouTube page. Look how gorgeous this is. I love how he's done this. So every course has a playlist. So let's say, you will probably want to take the course there because then you can get the professional development credit because there's like the assignments and the pieces. But let's say you're teaching a class with students. For example, let's say you were teaching your kids about the basic principles of design and you wanted to use some of those videos in your curriculum. Maybe you want to pull a video out and use it in your slide presentation on Google Slides, and you want to use that as you're teaching your students online. So all of the videos are actually really nicely packaged and curated for you inside of our YouTube channel. And so people don't realize like how rich of a resource this is, but look at this. So you have tutorials and courses for educators. They're all here, all curated, all of the resources, all of the videos. Look, this is Adobe Teaching Online Masterclass. I love this one, of course, because every shameless plug, but every Thursday, my colleague and I, Clara Galan, we do a live stream at 10:30 Pacific time every Thursday. We've been doing it for over a year, since March of 2020. We started it. And so all of our live streams are also here, and along with other talks, we keep them all curated. So there's really great webinars and talks with really great people. And then we have all of the videos from the ACE Level 1, and then there's playlists all about Spark. And these are really great. Let's say you wanted to learn more about, I don't know, Illustrator or InDesign or Premiere Rush. You could go in here and there's actually all of these great tutorials to build skills that are straight up on our channels. And of course, we link at the bottom to some of the other channels on YouTube that also have really great resources that people often might not realize where to go or how to navigate. So I wanted to show you this because I just think that this is so nice and easy to navigate. And just when you look through it, like these are some of the latest updates and things that are up. So you can see the latest ones. So actually, look at that. There's a how to log into Adobe. We made
For
one
Client
up.
ISD.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but we made this for you guys. And, there it is. So
Oh.
you could share that with your other colleagues. And this is how to log into Adobe Spark.
I love it.
So actually, I'm going to share that with you. I'll make sure that I put it in the collection. But just to show you, like, there's all these great little gems that people might not realize are out there that we have for you. Karen, had you seen that?
I had not seen that video. I've seen your channel, but I haven't seen that little video.
Yeah,
That's
see,
cool.
that's great. You can send that out to all the teachers, and it shows them just like very simply, like, how do you log in? And it's like a cute little like 1-minute video that like shows you, and it talks you through how people at Klein can get on.
We need to add that to our Adobe Spark course we have going on right
Totally, should be the first one. How do you log on? And it's for you. Yeah, I'll get that to you, Karen. I'll make sure I send that.
Okay.
So these are just the courses, and I just wanted to kind of walk you through, but even just there, you can see that there's really great resources that are available that you can take and learn independently. So the name for the YouTube channel, it's really straightforward. It's, and again, I will send it a follow, but it's Adobe, it's youtube.com/Adobe for Education. Super straightforward. So that's the name of the YouTube channel. Awesome. Yay. So hopefully so far so good, right? There's like some really great gems on there. Okay. Now let me go back. See, and just for context, I just want to point this out. We will be updating the Education Exchange over the next year. They've been working with a product team for like almost 2 years to update the algorithms, the searching, because it's a bit clunky. Like, I'm being recorded, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to say it. Like, it's a lot, and we know that. And so there is a team on the back end that has been working on developing a better front-facing like Education Exchange, but it's a big monster to catalog. There's a lot of content on it. So it's it'll come out, but it's coming out in time. So in the meantime, this is part of the reason that like I think it's really valuable to come and sort of see what there is. Otherwise, it could be a little overwhelming. All right. So the next thing I'm going to walk you through is here. The next thing I want to walk you through is the teaching resources by grade level and subject areas. Okay. So there's the K-12 general subjects, the K-12 digital media and technology. There's the higher ed general subject. P.S. If you teach higher level high school classes, AP classes, IB classes, a lot of the higher ed resources are really good, and you can differentiate up or differentiate down on how, but the ideas of them, I actually personally love the higher ed ones. And I'm like, why would we limit our students? Like, I think that they're phenomenal, and they're really, really well designed. So I wouldn't knock it. Like, I would still take a look in there if you felt inclined. So this is what I mean by it's a little challenging to search through because when you go through, it's like a little overwhelming. So this is right now what it looks like when I jump in. And it basically has like all the resources, humanities, business marketing, language. It's like it's cataloged using all these keywords, and it just pops everything up. So when I'm looking through, it's like it could be a little overwhelming. But what I wanted you to see is how to search and what to be looking for, so you understand what the resource is and who created it. So when you look over here, you can see who, like what the resource is, and then who's authored it. No, and I'm not saying that people who author it independently aren't good. It's just that I can speak about the quality control of the ones that have been vetted through Adobe for Education in our curriculum team. And I can't speak necessarily for all the other content. However, Claudio Zavala is a rock star, and his stuff's probably really good. So for example, Worlds of the Text. Let's have a look. So this is the first one that just popped up. I didn't even search. I don't even know. I haven't like categorized it in terms of any subjects or anything like that. So I'm just going to go in and click on it. All right. So this is Worlds of the Text. Each text, whether visual or written, has a context, both the context of the place and time it was created and the context of the time and place of the text itself. In this 2-hour lesson plan, students use Adobe Acrobat DC to interact with the words in the text, seeking evidence of authors' decisions. Okay, so this happens to be a session that is using Acrobat. You can use Acrobat, let's be real, you can use Google Docs. I mean, like, I want you to look at these lessons, and like the reality is like a good lesson can be, tools are interchangeable when the objectives are good. Let's be real. And so for some of these lessons, it might say this was designed to use Photoshop, or this was designed to use InDesign. Take that thought process out and think about, well, what might be the best tool for the job? If you are working in a school and all you have access to is Spark, you can make do with Spark. Spark Post could be used interchangeably on a with like less control as Photoshop, but you could still make it work. So I don't want you to get caught up on the tool, because sometimes the lesson itself is really well designed and you don't need to worry about that. I just want to go back a second and look at another one. Here we go. This is one that I think will be easier to contextualize. Okay, so this one is English Language Arts. This is 9th through 12th grade. And this one, in this 2-hour lesson plan, students will take a poem and learn how to reduce it down to a topic, then to an abstract noun, and use Adobe Spark Post to create a visual representation of the poem. The focus of this strategy is for students to analyze a poem so that they can create a graphic image that best reflects the poem. This is a really great and like a project or lesson to help students synthesize big ideas. This lesson plan is particularly suitable for partner or small group work, so they can leverage student discussion to help all students deeply engage with the work. All right, so this plan was actually created by Michael Cohen. If you know him, he's the tech rabbi on social media. He's really creative. He's an author. That's what I mean. Like, we hired 35 of these like really amazing educators to design these really great learning experiences. And so here,
TCEA. He comes to TCEA.
yeah, he's a great
conference. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his stuff is great. He's super dynamic and he's super creative, and his project ideas are great. And so that's why, like, we have these amazing resources. So check this out. So let's go in. And by the way, we have over 400 or 500 of these lessons created by these master teachers. Wow. So this is one of many. That's why I was like, you got to see these. All right. So this actually is one that is connected to a Khan and Create. So this is one part of their Khan Create series. So it's connected to like Khan Academy's a video or something you can pair with. It's very simple. The ones that are Khan and Create are actually like meant to be quick lessons. The ones that are designed with better lesson are bigger projects. Okay, so that's kind of the distinction between the two when you look at the different resources. So when you go in, you have to be logged in, and so it'll show it in different ways. It shows as a PDF or web link, and there's even a video where he walks you through the thinking of his projects. So they all have these like trailers, so you can even like get a quick overview of what the lesson.
I started my career and the mastery of software to make.
So he's talking about him, and then he's talking a little bit about this particular lesson. So I'm going to go in here, and this is the front facing for the teacher, and this is the student. So each one of these, the ones that are created by Adobe for Education, have a lot of the same things. That's why I like to show you, right? So there's the lesson that is the front, which is like for the teacher, which has the instructions, the tutorials, the rubric, and I'll open that up in a second. And then there's the one that you would give to the student that is, you know, that doesn't have all those pieces, but it's something that you could submit or, you know, share with your students straight up. What's really great about these as well is that they are all designed on Google Docs. These, all of the ones that are through the master teachers. And so when you go in here, if you wanted, you could just go here and you could make a copy. So you can customize these lessons, make them your own. They're all Creative Commons, free to use and share and modify. You can see that at the bottom, okay? So you can really make them your own. So it says, how do you share it with the student? The doc, put it in Schoology. You can make it as an assignment because, or you can modify it and make it your own and then share it with your students. But it's a Google Doc. So any way that you would provide a lesson with a Google Doc, it's the same idea. So in this case, this is for the student, this is for the teacher, and it's the strategy. It's explaining the whole lesson. And they're very similar. All the Con and Create ones are the same. So it'll have the explanation of the strategy. They all share an exemplar. So it'll have a student sample. So this is super helpful when you're working with students. I find if you have an exemplar to show, like, so that they understand like what it is that they're working towards. So you have that. It has a rubric. Each one has this. It'll have learn about Adobe Spark Post and then guidance for using it. So it has a tutorial, and I'll scroll through, you'll see. So it has the student steps. It shares the poems in this case, and then it gives you the graphic organizer, the guiding questions, so you can walk through the different elements. It gives you the different questioning for your students, and then it kind of breaks down the time for them to create, and it gives you directions. This is the rubric, and then here are the instructions for this particular lesson for using the tool. And everything is shared with you in one place. And so if you wanted to share the student one, it's right over here. Oops. Let's see, student version, open up. Here we go. And so I'm kind of curious about this one, about how it's different. So I'm not really sure, but some of them, like the better lesson ones, are significantly different. So let's have a look. So that's just one. Again, I just like randomly like click this one. This happens to be an English language arts one, but there are lessons for science. And let's go through that for a second. So I'm going to scroll here. And by the way, you guys are going to do this in a second. I see some of you are already starting to kind of look through. So lesson plans, okay, illusions, images, and emotions in poetry. So let's take a look. So I'm going to take out some of the keywords here. I'll take out law. I'm going to take out foreign language. I'm going to take out marketing, take out humanities. I'm going to take out, let's do second grade, 3rd through 5th, 6th through 8th. I'm going to keep 9th through 12th. I'm going to take out early childhood. I'm going to take out social studies, and I'm going to keep it. Let's have a look. Let's see what pops up. Hopefully this works. I'm not going to lie. The searching isn't great out here. It's not perfect, but let's have a look what pops up. All right, here we go. So complex systems, graphic, remember I kept it STEM, basically. I did like science, math. I wanted to see what was going to pop up. All right, so Minecraft, this is kind of cool. And Spark Challenge Mission Earth. Let's have a look. This is, I think, something that they just put up. Yeah, this is one they just put up June 1st. So this actually is something that I was just hearing about. Minecraft and Spark Challenge combines STEM with creativity and storytelling. Students have the opportunity to design and build within Minecraft, Education Edition, and then create videos with Adobe's creative tools. So this is kind of cool. So this, and then I guess it has, see all the 5 pieces, and it has a little video link and a web link that walks you through it. Interesting. Okay, so they're not, this one's a little different, but this is a project that you could use, you know, oh, here we go, to create Minecraft and Spark together. So this is great. This is something this is my first time looking at it. So there you have it. So, you know, you kind of have to search and dig a little bit. So that's the lessons. And I'm going to let you explore in just a moment. But over here, when you scroll down, this is where I really like, and I think it makes it a lot easier to navigate, and that's the distance learning resources. And this is like probably my favorite space because I think it's the place that's the most well curated and pulled together. So here you have it broken up into K-12, higher ed, social justice, Con and Create, paperless, courses and articles, webinars, young learners, events for college, well-being and digital literacy. So if I go here, let's say I go K-12, I'm going to go view all. So these ones are curated where they don't have a lot of the community members things. These are the ones that are just created by Adobe for Education. And they don't have all of them because there's like over 500. So they've curated a few. And you can see just a handful of them, but there's way, way more on inside here. But I'm going to go here, and when I go to the bottom, it says explore all teaching resources for digital media, and then explore all teaching resources for core subjects. And then this one is Adobe and Khan Academy activities. So these are some collections at the bottom here that you can access that will have them a little bit better curated. So for example, this is the Khan page, and it's a curated page that has a lot of those lessons I was showing you, but pulled together a lot easier to navigate. And that's something that they're working on, are these pages. And then this kind of takes you back to where we just were, and so on and so forth. So I'm actually going to stop because I've kind of shown you the different bits. And I want to give you a bit of time now to explore. So here's what I want to do with you. First of all, do you have any questions before I get you creating with me? Well, not really creating, but curating with me. Well, I see, how do you share it with a student? I think I answered that before, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, so here's the first challenge, and I'm gonna actually show you how to do this right now. So one of the things that I should have shown you, and I didn't, is how to save collections inside of the Education Exchange. Okay, so here's my lessons. Remember, I showed you all these parts. I showed you like, see the pieces, but what I didn't show you was the top right corner. And on the top right corner, and I'm gonna actually make this a little bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger so you can see it better. Hopefully a little better. On the top right corner, it shows how many people have viewed. But over here, what people don't realize is that you can save the resources that you find. And I'm going to show you how to do that and where it goes, okay? So on the top right corner, there's a little bookmark. So you click on that bookmark and it says resources saved to my Education Exchange. So what does that mean? Well, this is what it means. When I save a resource and I go over here to my Education Exchange, what will happen is this is where I can see all of my learning. I can see what I've registered for, what I'm courses I'm doing, the courses I've completed, and what I've recently viewed. So let me just go here and I'm gonna just update it. So I see my courses, and then over here I see teaching resources, and boom, that's what I just liked. So remember, I pressed the little bookmark. So when I bookmark it, it shows up over here. This is actually where people can create resources. So if you had something you wanted to share, you could put it up there. But this is where you would be able to go and access resources that you share. I think this is really handy because otherwise this place becomes a bit of a mess. It's hard to keep track of all the things you find. And so this is where you would go and you will share for yourself the resources that you find valuable for you in your class. Now, what I'm going to ask you guys to do right now in the first challenge is for the first few minutes, what we're going to do right now in first challenge is I'm going to ask you to explore the courses. And I want you to go through the courses and enroll in 3. Well, you didn't really have it, but like this way you have it on your thing so you don't forget it. It doesn't affect anything. No one can see it. It's just you. Don't worry, you're not like going to get in trouble for not submitting it or finishing it. It's really, this is just your section. And so the only reason I say enroll is so that it shows up and you have it like saved, because that's how it'll save it inside of your, like that little area. It shows you the ones that you've enrolled in. So go ahead. I'm going to give you, I don't know, let's say we'll take 5 minutes just to kind of browse. I'm going to be quiet and have a look on your own and enroll in 3 courses. And when you're done, share in the chat, what are the courses that you've found interesting and why? Maybe one, choose one. So I'm going to mute myself and give you some time to explore. All right, you guys are great. So we're at 5 minutes. I love seeing all the courses that you're looking through, and honestly, like, this is really for you. You don't have to if you didn't complete and you're just looking at some of the resources and lessons, because now that you know that it's connected to like edX lessons too, and that it kind of combines the best of all worlds, it's interesting to also curate some of the great lessons that they've looked through, to help you learn how to use some of these strategies inside of your curriculum. So when you understand what these resources are there for and how to use them, I think it's really helpful when you're looking at learning new skills and how you're going to incorporate them in your classroom. It's interesting that so many of you are interested in Adobe Acrobat for teaching and learning. And it's amazing what you can actually do with Acrobat that people don't realize. I'm trying to rebrand Acrobat. It doesn't necessarily come off as the coolest and hippest of the Adobe suites. It's not as cool as Photoshop per se, but yeah, it's super practical. So I'm so glad that you guys have been checking out all these different resources, and definitely check out the Creativity for All. It's a great course, and when you're done, you get your level 1 badge, which is like great bragging rights. And it's just nice to be able to have that part of the community piece, which I didn't get into so much, but our community is really vibrant and growing. And there's a lot of really awesome challenges that we've been doing and a lot of great things that are happening in the community as well. All right, so this is the next part, which I'm going to have you guys do. I'm going to give you actually a little more time. I'm going to give you a little more time to go through now. So we're going to do 10 minutes now, because what I want you to do, oh, I love it. Thank you guys. This is so great. I'm so glad you're sharing too. In this case, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be saving. Remember how I showed you the little bookmark? Okay. So you're going to be going in to the general area, which can be quite interesting to navigate. I didn't say it was perfect, but I do want you to have some time to explore. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the general area for search. Let's go here. All right. So this is what I mean, the teaching resource area. And I want you to just play around. I want you to go in and look at teaching resources, and then try to do some filters here. Just play around with it, and then go in and have a look at some resources that you find interesting. And as you go in and you find the resources that you are finding interesting, I want you, here we go, this is a great one. So students analyze an online image to determine their origin. So I want you to go here, and I want you to save. So find ones that are connected to your curriculum that you think are interesting, that you might want to go back to, that you might want to explore. Have a look, open them up, look at the lesson plans. You go here and you're able to see the different lesson plans. See, this one's great. This is connected to, like, this is a great example of one. In this 1 to 2 hour strategy based on Stanford's history education group's civic online reasoning. Like, people probably don't realize that we have a whole partnership with Stanford's online civic online reasoning lessons. And so, you might explore them and be like, wow, like, look at these lessons. Like, these are amazing. Like, I could totally do this with my students. If you teach high school history, this might actually be like an amazing lesson. So just want you to have some time, explore, and you're going to find, you can find more than 5, but I'm going to ask you, because afterwards I'm going to ask you to share those in a Padlet that I've created. So I want you to go through them, have some time to explore, and then you're going to pull out 5 of the lessons that you really like that are connected to your subject area. And we're going to start creating a curated list inside of Padlet so that you guys can also share things that you're finding and share it with other people. So what I'll be doing is going through them. And if I start seeing duplicate sessions, I'm going to be pulling those out so that we can try to really have a streamlined collection. All right. So I'm going to stop talking. It's 3:02. We're going to jump back at 3:03 at 3:13. So I want you to take some time. So it says, I search for math 4th grade. There is math. It's elementary. You have to do it in more of a, if you do math 4th grade, it's not going to show up that way. You have to look through math. And, then when you go in, you'll see if it's elementary, have a look at the topics. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, guys, I know you have to bear with me. It's going to get better. And actually, I'm going to be sharing some gems at the end of some curated pages with you. Okay. But in the meantime, I just want you to explore and try to find some things on your own. All right. Oh, sorry. I'm on East Coast time. I forgot that. Thank you, Karen, for that catch. Yes. I live in Florida, so I'm on East Coast time. Sorry. That's right. 2:13. Okay, so keep on. I'll be quiet. I'm gonna stop. Okay, pro tip, sometimes just putting in the keyword works way better than eliminating the filters. That's what I'm noticing. So try that also. Wonderful. All right. I think we're deep into searching, and that's okay. Well, we're gonna search a little bit more in just a second. But what I'd love to do is take a moment and share. And I think the best way to do that, just from being in a virtual environment, is often through, I love to use Padlet in my sessions just because I think it makes it way easier to share. So before I share that, out of curiosity, have you found anything that's interesting? Because I know I also haven't shared curated lists. I am going to kind of, consolidate resources for you afterwards, but good. Okay, great. I love that. Yes, you found a couple. Good. Quite a lot. Oh my gosh, right? Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give, I know it is somewhat challenging. Shari, I totally agree with you. It's the searching is hard. It's like hard to find stuff. But that's why I want to take a few minutes right now, and I've given you guys some time, and I'll give you a little more time, but I'd love for you guys to share. Oh my God, I have some really great collections for science, by the way, that I'm going to be sharing with you guys after. So, there's going to be good stuff. Okay. So I just posted the bit.ly for the Padlet that I'm going to ask you to join. And you guys can help me because I tried to kind of curate as best as I could. I see you guys digging in. Okay, so if you're not familiar with how to use Padlet, the way that it works is you go to the plus button, you're going to give it a name. It'll be helpful if you name it just as you're searching. And maybe even if you add like the grade or, actually just the name is fine. And then you would go here and you'll just copy the link and put it in. FYI, I've shared 2 collections for media literacy specialists or library specialists. We created a series of challenges for digital citizenship that are really good. And I've pulled them in there for you. And there's the media literacy challenges for elementary and then for high school. And there's 4 challenge lessons to teach digital citizenship for each or digital literacy for each grade, each group. So have a look at those. I pulled them in for you guys already. So we have elementary media literacy specialists, middle school, high school English, middle school, high school social studies, middle school, high school science, math, and I put the arts there, and then I put other because I wasn't sure what I was forgetting. I have to be forgetting something. Let me know because I'll add a column if there's something that I'm totally missing.
While they're sharing that, somebody asked, can you show again how to save that lesson if they found it? Someone asked how to save it instead of downloading it. Yes,
totally.
There you go.
Yes, right here. So when you're on the lesson, you go save. Oh, you have to be signed in. So hold on, let me go. I'm not signed in on this account. Let me just go back here. I am signed in this account. So let me go here. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So you go here. Let me pull that away. And then you're just going to go here, click on that little save button. It's small, it's hard to see. It's on the top right corner. And then it's going to show up in My Education Exchange. And when you're in here, you have to go to Teaching Resources, and it'll be right here. So that's where it saves them. So it's not perfect. I mean, someone asked if you can put folders, and then I think in the new update, it's going to be better how you curate collections. I wish it was. I'm super honest about the pitfalls of things that we have, but it's bad. It's at least it's there. There is a place to save. All right. So how are you sharing with me? You're going to be using this Padlet. So here, let me put the link in again. Oops. So you're gonna be, and it's not just with me, this is for each of you to have a place where you can see what other people are finding. I think that's the best part, because if collectively, if you're with 5 other math teachers right now who are finding really valuable resources, you might as well pull them together and share them so that you guys can, whoa, I hadn't updated it. I was like, this is awesome. There you go. So look how amazing these are. Oh, I'm getting so excited. Personally, I'm freaking out because I'm like, this is great for me. I love this. So this is great. So you have science projects and solar eclipses and design thinking and shapes and quadrilateral. Oh, I said that. But for younger students, once I got into the fall. Yeah. So you're going to look and see some things that are for older, for younger. I'm actually going to pull in some collections for you as well. And remember, I'm going to be sending out an email with all of those curated links and everything pulled together after. So I don't want you to like worry, like I shared something and like you don't have it, because that's why I like to do it in one sweep afterwards in one place. You're not losing everything. But look at this, guys. This is like gold, I tell you, gold. But then that way, you can look through these as opposed to going through this mass of the edX and see what people who teach similar subjects were posting. All right, so let's have a look. So you guys went in and let's take a look. So, and so 6-word summary. So remember to just add the link. Okay. So I see some of you still working on it, and that's cool. So identifying rocks, this is the elementary ones. This is great. And then media literacy, wonderful. Ooh, copyright and fair use, fantastic. High school, middle school English. So illustrate a poster, redesigning a book cover. They're so good, right? Blackout style poetry. Don't forget to put the link. That one is one of my favorites. It's such a great lesson. Don't forget to put the link. Timeline projects. Yeah, they're great. And then the history ones. Oh my gosh, primary source. Yes. And there's an activity on primary sources. United States history, several activities. Yeah. So my friend, Kristen Mygletti, is one of the authors, and I brought her on as one of the contractors. I taught with her. She's like the best social studies teacher I'd ever worked with. Like without question, she does such amazing instructional design. Side note, she was Cardi B's high school history teacher in the Bronx, which is just like her, like just so funny to know about her. Like total side note, and it's what she doesn't ever tell people. I mean, she only tells people she knows, so it's not like she goes around bragging about it. But she taught Cardi B in the Bronx, and Cardi B, if you check out like any, she's an amazing student. She was really, really good student. And she'll always talk about like she loved history. And one of the things she once said in it, this is the coolest thing. One of the things I heard her once talk about in interview was that if she wasn't doing what she's doing, she would have wanted to be a history or political science major or something like to that effect, which I thought was like such a credit to Kristen because she's such a great teacher. But yes, she's done a lot of these projects in here for social studies high school. You'll see like Kristen Mygletti, she's amazing. Yeah, this is great, guys. I'm so excited. Look how much you guys have come out with. I told you it was going to be fun. We would find things. Let's have a look. Okay, so algebra, basic common mistakes in math. Look at this, so interesting. Oreo project. How cool for a statistics unit. There you go. So as you guys are exploring and finding resources, you're starting to see like there's actually some really great stuff. And what's cool is in the last year they did a sweep. And so what they've done is they've tried to eliminate really old lessons that didn't work, where the links were broken, where the curriculum was just dated. And then all the ones that have been created by Adobe for Education have actually been done in the last year. So they're like super timely, super relevant topics. They're very, very, very interesting. So here, I see you still updating, so I'll let you do that. Yes, you can bookmark this Padlet. I won't take it down. I'm also going to make sure I send it in the email follow-up. I love sessions like this where you're like curating resources that you find. It's gold. The best history science I found was on this list. Well, put that inside the, make sure to put that in the Padlet. I hope you put that in the Padlet, Joseph. This is pretty light on economics topics, but able to find a couple of things I can modify in my course. Awesome. Okay, good. There might be more. Let me have a look. I'm going to do like I actually have a master like back end document. So let me see if I can find you some economic stuff. Hold on. I'm going to take a look. Because it's not broken up into economics. It's broken up into, you know what? Kristen did this great lesson. I know she did. Here, I'm going to text her. Hold on. Because I know that she teaches like entrepreneurship. And I know she's also been an economics teacher. So I'm sure she's done a bunch. Hold on. I'll let you know, Joseph. When I copy my link, it is all red. How do I fix that? Which link? Catherine, I'm not sure what you mean.
And it's Greg that's wanting the.
Oh,
That's okay.
sorry about that. By the way, I just texted
They're
her.
right there together on the comment.
Yeah. I just texted her, Greg. So if anything, I'll add what she sends me onto the Padlet after, okay? Under social studies, and I'll say like for economics, because she's got some great ones. So you were, I may not be putting the link in there correctly. Is that so when you're adding the link, what you're going to do is you go here. So let me go to the bottom. You give it a title, and then you click on the little link symbol on Padlet, and then you just paste that link. Oh, I see what you're saying. If you press like enter, sometimes if there's a space, it won't go through. Just double check that like you haven't pressed enter and there isn't like any spacing on the URL. That could be it. Sometimes that happens, and it happens to me all the time. Oh, guys, this is so great. All right, so the last thing, okay, because we're still playing this like challenge game. Yeah, try to leave and come back, right, Karen?
Yeah, she has, as long as she uses that same link to the Zoom, she should get right back in.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I'm going to come back. We're going to come back to this curated list in just a second. I'm so loving this session today. Okay, it's fun. See, I told you guys it would be fun, like not stressful. Let's look at things like that we might use that could save me time next year.
Teachers love free stuff.
I know, it's stuff that saves time, but not, you know what? I really think that this stuff is like good quality. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, this is great if I thought it was like, you know, stuff that wasn't like meaningful, engaging strategies for students. So not only are they free, but there's like great activities in here. They're like really good topics. And like I said, even if it's like Photoshop or InDesign, don't worry about that. Look at the lesson structure itself, and then you can always swap out tools that really serve the purpose of your students best. And so that's why I really love these activities, because they are really evergreen and you can use them with a variety of tools. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to have you guys do now, and this is the last, well, one of the last, no, actually, all right. I'm going to come back to that one. I'll swap those out. The last one, yes, is the distance learning. Okay. So I like the distance learning because it's like nicely curated. right? It's not as overwhelming, and but it doesn't have everything because there's like so many more. But these are like some nicely packaged, curated ones that you can go through. So I want you to go back here, and but the thing is, they don't have to be subject specific. That's why I have an other tab. So you might, like, maybe you're going to find some stuff in here that you like that is subject specific, but if not, you can also pull some of the other pieces. For example, there's a whole slew of resources on social justice. You know, we have Juneteenth coming up, so there's a whole, there's some stuff for Juneteenth. There's, you know, letter from a Birmingham jail. There's some lessons and ideas and resources that are actually quite good that you can go through, and project ideas as well on social justice. There is the Con and Create curated pieces that are here. Okay. And also what I really like are these, the well-being. So there might be some lessons, there might be some resources. So I wanted you to have a look here, and there's kind of like a nice mix of the different pieces, you know, of webinars and lessons and resources. So I want you to have some time to go and scroll through all of the different resources that are available for you on the distance education page. And then what I want you to do is pull out, I think I said 3. Yeah, 3, like it could be projects or lessons or resources. I'm actually going to edit that. So find 3 projects or lessons or just like resources that you can use or use with students, that you can use or with your students, if that makes any sense. So it's like something that maybe like you like, that you want to look at, or something that you might use with students. And then when you're done, I want you to either add it into like the right tab. So if it was a project of some sort, you can put it inside here if you have it, or you might put it inside the other section. Oh my God, did I not do Spanish? I suck. I can't believe I did that. All right, I'm gonna see. That's what I mean. I was like, I must be foreign language, like languages. How did I forget? I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. I'm sorry. I did it quickly. Okay, languages. That's a good one. I forgot that, and I apologize. And I love like my foreign language teachers. They're always the best. There we go. I'm gonna move them in.
Can you show them again one more time where those distant learning
Totally.
are?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me go here. So I'm going to go edX. Actually, to be honest, if you just go edX distance learning, it pops up automatically. But if you're, so if I did that, I would just go straight onto the distance learning page. I'm going to put it in the copy, and I'm going to put it in the chat here. So that's the distance learning page. Or when you just go to edX.adobe.com, you scroll to the bottom and you click on the link. All right, and as you guys are doing that, I'm going to just kind of move some of these over. So I put them in languages. Wonderful. You know what's cool? Usually I have so many teachers that are art teachers, and it seems like we're really a very diverse, like gen ed group here, because there's a lot of art stuff in here, by the way, like an insane amount. So I see that's very interesting. That's great. All right, we're gonna go until 3:40. So I'm gonna give you about 7 more minutes and I'll be quiet and have a look.
And she means 2:40 for us. It's okay. No, you're fine. You're fine. Just didn't want them to think that they had to stay an extra hour.
And while they're searching, I'm searching for economics stuff for Greg. So that's what I'm looking for. Awesome. So I see people have been updating. I added a whole slew, as you could see, as I was probably updating a bunch of some of my favorite social study ones from Kristen. So social studies teachers, since Greg asked, I was trying to find more, high school kind of connected. I found a lot of really great ones. The UN and human rights violations, film a political advertisement for a fictional campaign, annotate, these ones are really great. These annotate historical documents to identify progress and patterns. This one is amazing. Create your own island. So this is like, you'd have to come up with your own culture, economy, like the whole, it's like a huge project. It's brilliant. Analyze a historical image from multiple perspectives. So this is a lot of like the skill building that we're asking kids to do as critical thinkers from the historical perspective. And then the last one I found that was really connected, I think, to something really powerful is design a web page to pitch a social impact stock portfolio, which is like really cool. So they have to, she did this, she taught social entrepreneurship. So this would be like a really great project to kind of connect all those pieces in teaching all those elements around like investment and then how it can, how to diversify your savings and sustainability and all that, and then thinking about creating a market, a brand, pitching that, like all those pieces is such a great project. So Greg, I hope that was helpful because that project's like one of my favorites. I know she teaches that. But all right, so let's have a look at where you guys are. I see a lot of amazing resources that people have been curating. I see there's been, connections over here where you've added some of your, I see a lot of CTE. That's great. Health sciences. I didn't realize there were so many. That's like its own category here. Story of your project. I mean, right? Can we agree for a second that there's like some really, really good stuff in here? Like, and not like, it's not like surface level stuff. There's some like really deep, really well designed projects that you can use with students for next year. So I'm hoping that, as we're developing this out together, as you are looking through these resources, as you're curating your own collections and starting to kind of investigate what's available, you're able to hopefully find one or two activities, strategies, lessons that you can use with your students next year. So let's have a look. So I'm wondering, did I miss the answer to where files are saved on your Google Drive, since there's no features to organize it on your Drive? So that's a really good question. Let's have a look, because not every lesson saves on Drive. So let me do this. I'm actually going to go in here because I just know these are the ones that are better lesson are connected to the Drive folder ones. So let's have a look at this one. Okay. So this is the one I was just talking about, design a web page to pitch a social impact stock portfolio. I love this one. So let's go in, we're going to see, let's see all 5 pieces included. This is, by the way, this is Kristen. This is my friend Kristen, my best friend in the world. I'm having dinner with her on Thursday. I love her. She's who I used to teach with. Okay. So we're going to go in here. And I want to make sure I have the right one. This is the student version. Okay, this is the full project as a Google Doc. So let's have a look. So the ones that are designed this way, so there's the Con and Create ones, which you're seeing that are like more, and you'll start to see a difference. Like the Con ones are smaller. They're like lessons, like smaller projects. The ones that are better lesson tend to be meatier and are a bit more entailed. So this is an example of a better lesson project. And Kristen happens to be, and not that I'm biased, but she literally is one of the best instructional designers I've ever met. So her stuff is like really, really detailed and solid. So you can sort of see how she structures her lessons, how well she designs them. But over here, in the better lesson ones, they actually have it set up so that if you click on that, it forces a copy into your Drive. So let's have a look. So I'm going to go make a copy of this resource. and it forces a copy. So I'm going to go make a copy. And they don't all do this, okay? There's some that do, some that don't. Ideally, we'd love to see them, you know, all do this, but these are the big project ones. So when it forces a copy now, this is editable in your drive. If it wasn't a forced copy, you could just go in here to any of the Google Docs and make a copy, okay? And that will show up in your drive. And then what will happen is, oh my God, you can't judge my drive. This is actually my personal drive, people. So you'll have to bear with me here. It's my brain. I mean, I've been using it for like over, 12 years, who knows? But
No
here it is.
feeling.
Yeah, it shows up automatically in your recents. And then you would just, you could just create a folder in your drive and organize your, edX resources. But that's kind of what I'm thinking is probably what you could do. It's pretty straightforward. Just either make a copy. If it's a PDF, upload the PDF into a folder. Like, just find a place where you can curate that. Of course, you can also save them inside of edX. But when you want to start pulling them together and modifying them, all this one right now, I could go in and I can delete, I can copy, I can completely customize it the way I want. So, that's really helpful and easy to do. And it has everything connected, like standalone student version. These are the ones that I was telling you about, like the better lesson ones are much more detailed. And it says Premiere Rush, but you could do this with Spark Video. Like, if you don't have Rush, you would, but ultimately look, and they're saying this is higher ed, but she does this with her high school entrepreneurship class. So that's why I was saying, like, she's not a higher ed teacher, but it is a more entailed project. But if you go deeper, if you have that kind of class that you can do that, it's a great project. Yeah, so then it shows you, and this is like a much more entailed project, and then it just kind of walks you through how to use the tool to do it. But yeah, everything you would need is like right there. All right, the last thing that I wanted to show you, my goodness, we've done a lot today, haven't we? The last thing I wanted to do, hold on. Let me close that. First of all, let me see if there's any questions, any other questions. All right, let me know if there's any questions. I'm looking at the chat, and I'm here for any questions. We only have a few minutes left, so I want to make sure if you have any questions that I can respond to them and kind of get those to you. Let me start closing tabs because my computer is going to have like an aneurysm soon about how many tabs are open. So there we go. I've just updated. So make sure that you are, if you're on your Omnibox, press that little add bookmark. I'm going to do it right now so I don't forget. Adobe important links. Yes, please. I'm going to share those inside my bookmark so I don't lose it. So I just bookmarked it onto my Google bookmarks. And so I still see a lot of people are, and I'm actually going to move this to the side because clearly I think for this particular group, we were not so interested in the arts. But you're going to leave today now with these curated lists. And here's what else you're going to leave with, because I'm going to be emailing these to you. So I'm going to be sharing. I have a whole slew of collections that have already been curated by team member who works on our team at Adobe for Education. And he's just started pulling together, here we go, these curated lists that are more subject specific around topics. So you are developing a bunch that you liked, you crowdsourced those as a community. I'm actually gonna send you some curated collections that have been curated by the team at Adobe. So and these ones are specific to the con. Okay, so there's the con in the humanities. There's one for science. There's one for storytelling. We've teamed up with Pixar in a Box, and so we have a whole series on storytelling. They're actually really, really good. Humanities, math, science, and storytelling. So I'm going to send you those. And then we have, it's funny because like I often get a lot of grumbles, and I totally get it from like math and science teachers who are like, I can't find anything. So he actually started a whole slew of curated lists just for middle school, high school, and elementary math and science. So just to show you an example, and some of them are super detailed, like this one. And like I said, I will send these off to you. But like, here's one. Here, I'm going to copy the link, and just so I can show you. Okay. So this is 8th grade science projects. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we, I didn't want to start there because I wanted you guys to look, it would be like me giving you all the answers. Like I don't want to give you all the answers. I wanted you to work for them so you knew how to do them yourself. And now I'm going to send you in a follow-up email some of the curated lists that do exist, so you can have the ones that you have found that you have curated as Klein ISD, right? And I will send in a follow-up. They're not all done. So just FYI, I'm sorry. The only ones that have been curated right now are 8th grade math for science, 7th grade, sorry, not math, science, 7th grade science, high school science, 6th grade projects, I think they're science, teaching resources for science, okay, 3rd, 4th, 5th, okay, it's all science. Sorry, math teachers, my bad. So if you teach science, today is your day, because those are the ones that we're all, but they're working on, getting out more. These were the ones that he had as of like the beginning of the week, because they haven't published them anywhere. They haven't been putting them on social media. They just finished pulling together these like curated lists, curated pages for just science. And then they're going to do English, and they're going to do science, and they're going to do math. And so they're working on those, but science is what I have. Sorry, but I'll send you those. And then of course the con ones have been curated. Those are the bigger ones. So thank you guys. Please let me know if you have any questions. I hope that you feel like excited by some of this stuff. And the science nerd thanks you. I'm so glad, Wendy. Yeah, I'll send those all up in a follow-up. But I hope that this was fun. I mean, I wanted it to be kind of fun, to be able to kind of have time, explore, get resources, just like be able to leave with goodies. It's like we went to the conference, what teachers do, and they have their bag and they fill it up. It's actually the saddest thing ever to be on the vendor floor of conferences, because you're like, we are so deprived of stuff that we are, like stealing all the pens. But like, I so get it, especially these are the good goodies. Like, resources are the best, because that time is that resource that we often don't have enough. And we have really scoured for the best people to create some of the best lesson ideas that you can use with your students. And that's invaluable to me as a teacher. So I hope you feel the same way. Karen, thank you so much for being my sidekick today and helping me. I really appreciate it. And thank you to all of you. This has been an insane year. I hope that this was fun with me. If you came to both my sessions, I hope you feel valued. I do so care about the work you do. And I said in the last time, I wish I could give you all big hugs. This year was crazy. Thank you for all the work that you do every day. I could cry. You're amazing people. I can feel your energy, even though I don't see you. So thank you so, so much for this year, for teaching our children, and for being so amazing. I hope I was able to save you some time for next year. And I hope to see you again at another session. I love Klein, so anytime I can come back, I'm so happy to. So Karen, thank you so much. And I'll stay on if you guys have any questions, but enjoy your day.